In today's episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief, I sit down with Gilbert to talk all about something I've been waiting to have since I got into the industry. Now I just need a new three-piece suit to go along with them. Find out what the heck I'm talking about after a brief word about these sponsors. If you're anything like me and have been tasked with writing adventures for your role-playing group, you're probably in a scramble the night or hour before your role-playing game nights, trying to come up with exactly how you're gonna slaughter your players. Not anymore! This episode is powered by the new Dungeons & Dragons Mystery Box that's currently on Kickstarter. Jennifer is building a custom 5e Dungeons & Dragons storyline. It will be a mystery, even to the Dungeon Master. This will be a new story with sealed envelopes for the Game Master that will be opened when entering a new area, with either a mystery to solve in the room, creature to attack, NPCs, or puzzles. The player's guide will have each room description available with room for the Dungeon Master to be able to adjust accordingly, or it can be read exactly for new Dungeon Masters. It is preset for players levels 1 through 20. Want to know more? Tune in next week when I sit down with her to talk more about it. Also, be on the lookout over on my other website, thegiveawaygeek.com, which will be having a giveaway from her really soon. This episode is being sponsored by Overbattle, the All War. The only true 4X game that's also a war game that doesn't take forever to set up. It'll be on Kickstarter through the 20th of April. More to be said during Kickstarter Corner. You like games? Check. You like manga? Check. You like the 80s? Check. You're going to love this next sponsor. Double check. This episode is sponsored by Robotech Crisis Point. It's up for pre-order. Get some awesome exclusives by pre-ordering it today. In case you missed it, go give my interview with Dave, the designer and publisher, a listen by searching for Robotech Crisis Point on my website, GameReliefGo.com. Then pre-order soon, because when they run out of exclusives, they run out. This episode is powered by Shard Hunters, the card game. It'll be on Kickstarter through the 10th of May. Find out more during Kickstarter Corner. This episode is powered by Hachu Games and their game Plunderbun, the back alley business board game. If you didn't catch the coolness in their company name, I clearly can't do it justice. So go give my interview entitled Plunderbun and Pickles a listen, and then back Plunderbun before Saturday the 20th of April. This episode is also sponsored by Furious Tree Games LLC and their latest game creation, Widget Ridge, which is a steampunk deck building game with crazy inventions that connect to make even cooler inventions. It's an Ian Taylor creation. I had the privilege of having Ian on the show. You can find that on our episode entitled, Can You Tell Me How to Get to Widget Ridge? So, go give it a listen and then back Widget Ridge, which has already surpassed its funding goal by Saturday the 27th of April.
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Welcome to Getting Geeky with Game Relief. Today we've got a special treat for you. You have to wear, usually to church or different outings, sometimes you dress up, you wear a suit, and you got a plain old drab necktie. But you like to game, and now you can have the best of both worlds with the board game neckties by Tactical Meeple Depot. Today we're lucky enough to have joining us on Getting Geeky with Game Relief the creator mastermind behind these board game neckties. Is that right, Gilbert? Is that how you fall in line with The neckties from Tactical Meeple Depot.
I guess we can go with that. It sounds good.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. Now, before we jump into these cool neckties, let's rewind a little bit and find out how you got into playing tabletop board games. Where's your history start with that?
Well, actually, my tabletop history is not that long. It really happened when my kids were in high school, and my youngest son, both my kids were heavy into sports and stuff, and as a good father, I supported them and was there at all their events and activities and helping out wherever I can. And I actually was pretty heavy involved with most of the programs. I was a voting member of the Booster Club for the football team at their high school. I should stand at the football games. And then I also helped initiate and oh, there was one of the puppies. Help initiate and start a rugby team at the high school, and I was the admin for that and one of the assistant coaches. And so when my youngest son, when he finished his last season of rugby, I started looking at, well, you know, I got some time for myself now. So I knew I'd always liked board games, and I think we had been to a friend's house, one of my wife's friends up north. This is when I still lived in California, and they had a board game night, and I got to play some games with them. I thought, well, you know what? Let me look into this. So I started looking around for if there was. I said, there must be some groups out there that played some games and stuff. And I found one that was meeting, and this is when I lived in San Diego. It was meeting at a Fuddruckers on Wednesday nights, the game meetup. Unfortunately, that Fuddruckers is now closed, and they've had to move their meetup somewhere else. But I went to my first meetup there. The very first game I played was Splendor, and from then on I was hooked. And this was probably about 3 years ago, maybe 3.5.
Oh, okay, so yeah, kind of similar to us. Yeah, my wife started getting into them, and it's been not too long. I started the podcast back in 2017, but got into a little bit before that with my wife, really picking them up. And what I love to play Splendor with my daughter. It's a really fun game. I like it a lot.
Yeah, me too. And then from there, I mean, I started playing games and going to game meetups and stuff like that. And I met a couple people that did demoing and stuff, and so I thought, oh, that sounds kind of neat. And so I found some demoing programs, and I signed up with those, and started demoing at different places and different locations, and mainly game stores and local conventions. And then we went to our first big game convention about 2.5 years ago, Gen Con, and I demoed there, and my wife demoed also. My wife also games, and we went to our second Gen Con this last year, and we've been to PAX Unplugged twice, and BGG, demoing for different companies.
Cool beans. Now, in case somebody, they probably do, but in case somebody doesn't know, what is the demoing? That's mean you're showing other people how to play companies' games?
Well, there's just different ways you can get into it. Sometimes you just, your local game store. The basic way is just teaching some friends how to play a game, and that's really all it is. Once you start, working with either a program or a specific company, you'll specialize more in their games or something they're trying to get you to show out, and you'll be showing people games from that company that they might like. That's more specifically like at conventions. Usually when I'm like at doors or just in meetups and stuff like that, I just bring an allotment of games, and if they want to learn the one that I happen to demo for or something like that, then that's great. But I'm more read the room and play what people want to play.
Awesome. And what are you playing these days?
I haven't been doing a huge amount. We just moved to El Paso, Texas in November, and I've been slowly getting back into the gaming scene here. I used to game 2 or 3 times a week back in San Diego. Here I'm about 1, maybe twice a week.
Awesome.
I have a group I do that heavy game once a week, maybe Mondays, and sometimes I'll go to something a little more casual. And like we played Antiplano a week or so ago. Last night I went to a new meetup up north a little bit, and it was a little more casual gaming. I played, it was in Las Cruces. I played, I think it was Codenames first, and then we went into Roll for Life Candyman for a little bit of quick fun and fast-paced excitement, and then we went into Roll for the Galaxies and called it a night after that. But I play all different kinds of stuff, from heavy strategy, Euro games to Ameritrash to party games, all kinds of stuff.
Awesome. And it doesn't look like you've stopped there. Like a lot of people I talk to, they create a board game and throw it up on Kickstarter, but you're kind of in another genre or whatnot. They're still in the board game, but it looks like a while back ago you did some board game themed t-shirts and also tried your chance with the a board game tactical Meeple bag that I really liked. Unfortunately, it wasn't successful on Kickstarter. Now we're back with some board game necktie. What can you tell us about those?
Well, I've got to start with a couple just basic stock designs. My Meeple got the basic colors using the Carcassonne blue, yellow, red, and green. And it's just the Meeple's in different, laying in different categories all the way down the tie. It's white background with all the colored Meeples. Very pretty, especially if you wear it against a non-white shirt. Then I have a kind of a Carcassonne themed one. It's kind of got a blurred background that looks similar to the Carcassonne pattern with the Meeples on top of that also. And then I have a stock design that's just a series of hexes with colors that kind of similar to Catan. You would really not know tie, except that I also have a robber Meeple. A robber tie tack that goes with it. That really brings it forward. So that's a tie that you could wear somewhere, and people might not really pick out what it is, and except if they know Catan and they see that robber Meeple on there, they know it all kind of circle in. And then I started talking to some game companies and stuff like that I have connections with and knew the people at, and did a couple ties themed after some of their games and sent them to them, and they liked them. And I've got a few licensing agreements with some companies that you can see on the website. To name a few of them, AEG, Smirk and Dagger, Gray Fox, Final Frontier Games, August Games. I might be missing one or two. Those are a few of them that we have. Oh, Jolly Tinkers.
Awesome. Yeah, they look pretty cool. And so you just worked out an agreement with them when you can use the board game art. Is that how that worked? Or
yeah, some of them are. I can use the actual art straight from the games, and some of them help me with some of the artwork. Some of them, like Stillmar Games, I have a few Stillmar Games themed ties on there. Their agreement's a little different. I'm not supposed to really use any exact logos or something like that. I can use some of the artwork. I usually try to change stuff around anyways, because what comes in a box or like that don't fit on a tie. I have to change it around to make it fit the ties right and give you most artwork on there you can. On the viticulture one, actually, that artwork is actually from paintings my mother did. My mother's a fine art impressionist painter in the Santa Barbara County, California area. And those were a series of paintings of hers that had wine fields, great vineyards and wine glasses and stuff like that. And I kind of paste them all together to make a neat wine-themed tie to go to viticulture.
Okay, interesting. And where would the inspiration come behind the ties?
I mean, like you, every Sunday I don a tie and a shirt and go to church, which many of us do, and some people have to wear ties to work. And I was like, I'd seen a few neat ties out there, and I looked around for some game ties. I think I actually backed one on Kickstarter a while back ago, which was a dice tie that I've got somewhere, and I really liked that tie for a while and wore it. And then when I started doing the T-shirt, board game themed T-shirt campaign I did, part of that I worked into getting equipment that I could do other stuff, and I was able to watching videos on how to do different printing and stuff like that, and I figured I could do ties, and I was like, oh, that'd be kind of neat. And I looked around, and there really wasn't much more out there, and what there was out there really wasn't that great or really expensive. I think I saw some Meeple ties and stuff on Etsy, and they were like $30 a piece, and they weren't really that great. So I was like, I can make these myself. So I made a series for myself, and people liked them, so I started, doing some more, and here we are, trying to get this funded so we can do more and better stuff. Mainly this project is, I could obviously make some ties now, but I have limitations to the design and stuff like that. I only have so big of heat presses and so big of printers and stuff like that. So when I try to do a design that's continuous for a long tie, I have to cut it in pieces and print piece at a time. And certain designs, it just won't show up very well. Get lines where the stuff overlap or a little gap or something like that, and it won't be very continuous. So this campaign is to help upgrade and better equipment so I can do better stuff.
Okay, awesome. So that'd be cool. So you can make better ties and it won't take so long. And it looks like I see a prominent board gamer or a couple prominent board gamers on the Kickstarter sporting the ties. Is that right?
I gave at PAX Unplugged, I gave one of my ties with tie box to Tom Vassell, which everyone knows he likes to dress up. And he also gave me a quote to go for it. And what he said, his quote was, well, at the convention, he told me he really liked it. He wanted to talk more about it, and he wanted one of every design I ever do.
Oh, that's a pretty good deal. I like that deal.
Yeah, those who have seen Tom and how he dresses can understand that. So the quote he had given me for the Kickstarter was that I love quality ties, I love board games. This tie combines them in the best way possible. Class plus geek equals win, and that was from Tom Vassell. I also did some ties for his Kickstarter, which were designed with their animal logos, the dice animal logos on it. And I'm not sure if some of you guys have seen that or not. And their backers will be getting those in a couple months here. Once I start, hopefully I'm waiting for my campaign to finish off, then I'm going to start those up.
Well, that's pretty cool. So how does that work? Like, I've seen some of his YouTube video where he unboxes the games at the start of the video where he dumps everything out. If he dumped your ties out, it'd be less messy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would, and it wouldn't make as much noise either. I don't think he does for the things like, I think you're thinking about when he does game reviews and he does the component drop. He also has his boring unboxing videos where you open stuff up, and he doesn't really drop that stuff around as much. And that's probably where my tie would end up when I send it to him.
Yeah, yep.
He calls them his boring unboxing videos, but I actually kind of like them because sometimes you see stuff that aren't out yet, and you kind of get a peek at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen those ones. I've seen him post, but yeah, I've only seen his reviews where he drops the components. Well, there you go. Awesome. So, I know they're your baby and everything, but if you had to pick a favorite board game necktie, what would that be?
Oh, I don't know. Right now, I don't know if you saw that newest one I just added, which was the Roll for Your Life Candyman, which is that one turned out really good.
Yeah, I see that. It sounds like you just played that. I didn't know that was a game. I didn't even know that was a game. So that's a game?
Yeah, it's a game. It's a game by Smirk and Dagger Games, and it's a really fun kind of like real-time roll the dice, and you're trying to roll the dice to get all of one pattern. And when you get all of one pattern, depending on what it is, depends on what you can do. And usually you're tearing apart the other people's Candyman and trying to be the last Candyman standing. And, I mean, you always got to have a Christmas tie, right? It's our first Christmas tie. Everybody's got to have a Christmas tie.
Awesome. And I saw Treasure, what is it, from August Games. Treasure Mountain has a tie.
Yes, August Games. I right around the same time I was doing that game bag campaign, Daniel with August Games was doing his campaign. And we connected and started talking, and I of course backed his game and he backed my bag. I found out he actually lived like 15, 20 minutes from my parents. And me and my wife were actually happened to be going to visit my parents, and we were able to meet up with him and his wife and play Treasure Mountain with him and his wife, with the designer, of course, and while I was still on the Kickstarter. And that was the first and I think only game that my wife ever actually told me to back and supported me in backing.
Oh, there you go. You got permission, so that's good.
Yep. Well, she told me you better back it, which I had already done it, but, you know.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Awesome. So, and I love the box. So they're going to come in a box like that's on your Kickstarter page?
Well, the box is an upgrade. There are pledges that come with the box, and you can also add the box on. If you add the box on, it'll come unassembled like a broken token game insert, and it's put together kind of a similar way, fairly simple. The ones that you, if you order the kit, it'll come already assembled in the box, and the boxes also have a magnet glued on the inside of the lid that'll hold a tie tack if you get a tie tack as well. Also, they have the deluxe or the kit with the IP ties. Those will have the logo for the company on the front of the box as well, engraved.
Okay, awesome. So say I'm looking for a tie or ties in this case or whatnot. What's it going to cost me to go ahead and pledge in to get some cool board game ties, Gilbert?
Well, the first level that you get a tie at would be a basic stock tie. For the basic stock ties for this campaign, I'm charging $15 plus shipping, and for US it's $3. So that would be $18 for a stock tie. and that would be the
And those are the three that you talked about at first.
yes, the stock ties are ones that I don't have license agreements for. The ones the artwork that I've pretty much kind of put together and come up with myself. So those would be the Meeple, the Catan themed one, the Carcassonne themed one, and there are a few others that might come out later if we reach them in stretch goals. One of them is actually, which is a gem dice tie. You can see it on the stretch goals if you have to look at that. And there's room for more to come in later on, and those would all be under the $15 category. And then after that, we have the IP designs, which is intellectual properties. Those are all the ties I have license agreements to make and sell. And those would be your ones from Final Frontier Games, Grey Fox Games, AEG Games, the ones themed after Stonemaier Games, and Smirk and Dagger Games so far.
Okay, and you can pick like so many, or it looks like there's a couple items where you can get a trio of ties and 3 IPs.
Yeah, there's a couple package deals where you get a little bit of discount the more you buy, and you can add on at the end of the campaign, or you can add it on with your pledge. There's an add-on category where gives you some price settings for what it would cost more to get another stock tie or another IP tie or a box or I also have a box that holds 3 ties. So like, let's say you want to get all 3 ties from a certain company. Let's say you want 3 AEG ties. You get them all in a custom box just for them. Yeah, and then we have the kits that come with a tie tack. I have a few tie tacks already. I have Meeples and I have the Robber. And also one of our stretch goals, our early stretch goals, is a silver D6 dice tie tack, which will be bronze coated plated or silver colored bronze. So that'll be an actual metal tie tack. The tie tacks we have right now are cast resin, so they can be colored. So Meeple colors we have right now are yellow, blue, and red. And the Robber comes kind of in a gray, the same as the Robber tie tack be.
Okay, awesome. And from what I hear, a lot of different like publishers, like especially if they have Kickstarter games or listen to the show or whatnot. So per se, somebody's listening and they have a game company or they have some games and they're interested in getting their game or their art on a tie. Is there something they can work out with you as well, Gilbert?
Yeah, I'm willing to talk to anyone and talk to them about putting together some artwork on a tie. To represent their company, either just the logo of their company, or if they want to do artwork from their games. These ties I will be printing on demand, pretty much. So it's not like I'm going to have to invest in a 100 tie stock or anything like that. So I give them a way to provide ties for their fans and stuff like that might want them. They can contact me through the Kickstarter right now, or Gilbert at tactilemeepledepot.com.
Okay, awesome. And if you get any links, I'll leave everything in the show notes so they can just click on over.
Yeah, I'll send you some links too.
Now, so everybody, like even your wife, has made you back a board game here and there. So people back board games all the time. When it comes to the board game neckties by Tactical Meeple Depot, what makes this campaign pop as one my audience should go ahead and check out, and if they like what they see, go ahead and back it?
No one else is doing ties like this with board game things on it yet. So I mean, if you gotta dress up, you might as well have some neat tie on. And if you like board games, then you gotta have a board game tie. John Zinser from AEG, his quote for our campaign was, a great tie is a conversation starter, and these ties are not only do that at conventions, but in the real world as well. I pretty much retired my boring non-gaming ties and plan to pick up the whole line. And that's from John Zinser, the CEO of AEG Games. And there's a few pictures of him supporting some ties. One of them is the Cat Lady tie, which is a really neat one too, at Essen, and he's sporting the Space Base, which they just came out with the expansions for. At PAX Unplugged.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome. Well, there you go. There you go. Awesome. Yeah. So you can get your friends into gaming. They may not know anything about gaming, but you're wearing a tie, and then you can start a conversation and get them into games, huh?
And the ties are really just a start. I have plans for a lot of other products. Of course, you've seen the product, the T-shirts I done a while back ago, so I can do shirts. I'm planning to try to build a little apparel and accessory themed. Board game themed company to provide some stuff for us to wear out there and have for our games. I had that game bag that I attempted to do, and we didn't quite get there. I think that's because I'm still kind of getting there on my exposure, and I didn't have enough people see it. I think it's still a great idea, and we might revisit it and remodify it, maybe turn it into more of a.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. You're going to come back. So you're going to come back with that. I really like that idea.
I'm hoping. I have the prototype for that, and I use it all the time, and it's like the best game bag ever. I can fit so many games in that thing, and I think that the rubber patch thing is a neat idea too. And now that I already have licenses and contacts with some of these companies, it's going to be a lot easier to do board game themed patches for their games and their logos and stuff for the bags. I'm thinking about maybe moving a backpack direction and doing like a military mole style game bag as a back for her backpack. So there's quite a few board game bags out there, but there's none really that go that direction. So we still have the hook and loop on there to attach the morale type patches. For those of you who haven't seen that, it's, I have rubber patches that can, or silicone patches that can be attached to it. This comes from an idea of militaries. A lot of times they'll make these patches, and they call them morale patches, and they wear them on their jackets and their themed and stuff like that. And I thought it would really go good with board games too. I mean, you could have a game bag, and if you had the right patches, you could literally put the patches for the games you have inside your bag, or just support the companies you like. Collect the patches like people collect those pins. You can wear them on jackets. I have my little tactical Meeple patches. I wear one of them on my jacket at work all the time. People always ask me what it is. It's a great conversational piece. Great way to let people out there know you play board games. I mean, you're always looking for new people to play games with, and sometimes you don't know how to start the conversation. They see that Meeple patch on your shoulder or another board game patch on your shoulder, then they're like, "Hey, what is that?" And you can start telling them, and "Oh, that sounds neat. I want to try it." And then there's your opening to start a new game night.
There you go.
Yes, that'd be great. Get some of these neat tie tacks, and I have lined up to do the silver colored metal ones, the gold colored metal ones, and then later on we'll do some metal meeples as well, tie tacks and gold and silver colors.
There you go, awesome. And like I said, we'll make sure we leave all the links in the show notes. So people, you want to go ahead and upgrade your ties to include board games, make sure you go ahead and jump on over and back the campaign before Thursday, the 2nd of May. The sooner the better, so we can go ahead and get this campaign to the funding point and start unlocking those cool stretch goals.
Yeah, definitely. We can definitely work on that. And hopefully we can have another little conversation later on. I actually have a game that hopefully coming to Kickstarter probably in about a month or two. I'm sending out prototypes to some reviewers now. It's a quick push your luck dice targeting pizza game called Bullseye Pizza Chef. So keep your eyes out for that one. Hopefully I'll have some stuff coming out about that here pretty soon. I'm hoping to do a little intro video this week to it, and I'll shoot that out to you. And then I'll get some reviews in, and then we'll launch the Kickstarter on that one.
Awesome. And like I said, I'll leave all the links in the show notes so people can click on over and find out. And yeah, so if you want to be just as cool or cooler than Tom Vassell, who sports these ties, make sure you go ahead and check out Board Game Neckties by Tactical Meeple Depot on Kickstarter now. But yeah, we don't want to take you all night, but we really appreciate you coming on Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf with us, Gilbert, to talk about these awesome ties. And hopefully maybe we could even think about getting a Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf one. Awesome. That'd be cool. So mine is coming there to Texas to stalk you. How are people going to go about keeping up with you and other things you have coming up in the future?
I am on Twitter. I have a Tactical Meeple Depot Twitter account. Might be under Gilbert Anderson or G Anderson, but I think if you look up Tactical Meeple Depot, you'll find it. I also have a website, tactilemeepledepot.com. That's my apparel and accessory company. I also my board games are under Misfit Mongoose Game Forge. That's a little bit of a mouthful, but I think it sounds neat. So that has its own website too, and it's misfitmongoose.com. I'll be having more stuff out about later, but you'll probably be able to get a link to it from tacticalmeepledepot.com. And my email again is Gilbert@tacticalmeepledepot.com or info@tacticalmeepledepot.com, and I'll give you links to all those. My webpage is a little anemic right now. It's just basically got some pictures of ties and stuff out there and kind of directing you to the Kickstarter. I'm planning on, after the Kickstarter, turning that into a store as well. Well, people who missed the Kickstarter can go there and buy the titles in the future, and other products will be able to come to that page as well. And I appreciate you for having me on here.
Gamer Leaf levels up.
Wow, that was awesome. Sitting down with Gilbert. This is better than Pokemon in my opinion. I've got to catch them all. I love toys and I love board games. If any of that piqued your interest, jump on over and back the campaign, and let's get to those stretch goals and make this project a reality. You know what else I'm excited about?
What is this place? What is it doing here in the Leafs computer? Oh, it's Kickstarter Corner with the Leafs.
Calais, Roman Knucklebones, metal coins and 2 games in one? You saw this on Kickstarter last week? Right, I did too. It was less than $400 away from reaching its goal. Not to fret, it's back and better than ever. Already reached its funding goal and surpassed it in fact. Calais is the Roman version of Knucklebones, featuring the tactical feel of stimulated bones. So very close to the stretch goals too. Go back it before Friday the 19th of April. Tell them Gamer Leaf sent you in the comments. Plus, over on thegiveawaygeek.com, they're doing a giveaway. Overbattle, the All War is still on Kickstarter. It needs you, it needs me. You like war games, but the setup is too long? Well, not with Overbattle. That's actually part of the play. Want to know more? So did I. So I sat down with Rob for a little heart-to-heart. Go give it a listen in their Kickstarter update entitled Quick Update on the Video and a Personal Podcast Intro. Listening on the go and can't click straight over? Not to worry, engrave this in your brain and remember to check out overbattle.com, which is the easiest way to get there. And make sure you and a friend back it before Saturday the 20th of April so we can make it a reality. Your kids are losing way too many dice. Plus, you want to be the coolest one on the block when it comes to rolling and storing your dice? Then you're going to need the Nomad's Magnetic Dice Tower by Master Monk. It's a magnetic dice tower featuring handcrafted inlays and a unique design that works with the Nomad's armory. It folds down nicely and is held together by earth magnets. The audio alone just doesn't cut it. I'd encourage you to jump on over and check out their Kickstarter page as well as giving my interview with the creator to listen. Find it in my episode entitled Be the Coolest One on the Block with the Nomad's Magnetic Dice Tower, or find it in their update entitled Interview with Gamerleaf and our next live stream this Saturday. Shard Hunters the card game. We teased about this during the sponsor spot of the show. It's simple and dynamic gameplay, exclusive artwork, love dark fantasy games but don't have much time? Then this 20-minute game is for you. Some things about the game: actions happen simultaneously, no handicap for new players, no stealing, no player elimination, and monster cards are completely language independent. Plus, the art is amazing. Jump on over and check out their Kickstarter campaign and back it before Friday the 10th of May. If I got asked who's your favorite designer that if you could, you'd want all their games, that's easy. Hands down, I'd say Ta-Te Wu. He's back. This time, it's a game that uses my favorite mechanics of deck building in Promenade, the game of impressionist art, in which you become the most prestigious painting collector in a 2 to 4 player economic deck building game of impressionistic art. Players are art collectors and the goal is to manipulate marketing value by acquiring and exhibiting impressionistic paintings. Players receive points by exhibiting paintings from their hand and additional points from the paintings and gold in their collection at the end of the game. When the game ends, the player with the most victory points wins the game. Go check it out and back the Kickstarter before Sunday, May 12th. Plus, you can go and search on my website for Promenade, and you should be able to find the episode that way. You enter the unknown dungeon as the hunter. Turn by turn, the dungeon reveals itself to your party. You must adapt your strategy. Choose when to forge ahead or when to step back and regroup. The dungeon can be unforgiving, and even in competitive play, you might find it necessary to forge alliances to survive. Your team makes noise as they explore. The more noise they make, the more they risk awakening the dark evil that lurks within. Soon you realize that you have become the hunted. Sound familiar? Not my fault. You missed the Dungeons of Infinity on Kickstarter? Yes, that was my fault. Well, I'm here to mend my mistakes, to let you know we're not too late. If you missed the campaign, don't dismay. Click the link in my show notes to show your support and not have to be worried if it won't reach its funding goal, because it's already been done for you on the Kickstarter. Dungeons of Infinity is a board game for 1 to 5 players set in a mythical kingdom ruled by King Armiger. His land is full of dungeons built in the distant past. He recruits teams of heroes to delve into many dungeons to free the land from the evils that lie within. Head on over and make your pledge today by clicking the link in the show notes before you miss it yet again. But this time it won't be my fault. You know I love myself a good deck builder, don't you? And who doesn't love saying Hachoo? Put them both together and you've got Hachoo Games' latest game, Plunderbund, the back alley business board game. It's got a bit of everything to keep you on your toes. Deck building, worker placement, and area of control strategy in a high fantasy prohibition-era world. It's got 2 to 5 players, stunning art. You want to find out more? Then you're going to definitely want to tune into my episode called Plunder, Bun, and Pickles. And then make sure that you go ahead and jump on over and back their campaign before Saturday the 20th of April. Are you from the 1900s like me? What if I told you you could relive some of your youth in a deck builder inspired after some of your favorite cartoons of the 90s? Well, you're not going to want to miss Venom Assault, Villains and Valor, Venom Assault, Villains and Valor expansion to Venom Assault. A deck builder with dice-based combat includes reprint of the base game. That's right, Venom Assault, the base game, is an 80s cartoon-inspired cooperative deck builder with dice-based combat mechanics for 1 to 5 players, ages 14 and up. You and your fellow tacticians will lead Freedom Squadron by recruiting the best and brightest soldiers to join your team. Your multinational force has one purpose: defeat Venom before they unleash havoc upon the world. Go check it out now and make your pledge before Wednesday the 1st of May. Need a new movie-making game that is also a worker placement? We've got the game for you. Check out Movie Empire. Find out more about it by giving my interview with Karsten a listen. See their update entitled Day 8, The Game is On. We're at the very bottom under media links. And then go ahead and back their game. But don't dilly-dally. You want to make sure you do that before Thursday the 25th of April. It's already going to be a reality, so why not add it to your tabletop? Now it's our least favorite time, and yours as well. Time for us to get on with our lives, you to get on with yours. In the meantime, I hope you'll go ahead and get geeky, stay geeky, and bring others into Geekfold, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.